Share. I'm going to share. Yes, Adav?
Will we be doing a Kahoot today or no?
Not today, because I don't know. We will do it in a few weeks because we have to finish this story first. Okay.
Or can we do a Kahoot about like the things we learned in the past?
The which story?
The things we learned in the
We
past.
already did that, Kahoot.
About Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh? Which one are you talking about?
Or just anyone.
Anyone? Okay. Yeah, not today, but yes, the next class we will do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to talk about Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Have you heard about their names? Anybody has heard except Ishan? Okay. So it's going to be interesting class. Nobody has heard, right? So we will. Nimai has heard about, right? Devahuti and Kardamuni. Nimai has heard about them. So remember, we were talking about last class that Lord Brahma had asked Manu to create progeny in the earth, create people, more people on the earth. The earth is empty, not too many people, right? So as people will marry and then they have kids and the kids will have grandkids, and so then the population will increase, but somebody has to create that population, right? So remember we discussed about Hiranyaksh being killed, right? And Varadev had lifted the earth. The earth was in the Garbhodak ocean. Earth had fallen down. And it is in the Garbhodak ocean. And Varadev came in the form of which form did he come, Varadev?
Pig.
Yes, a boar. And he lifted the earth in his tusks and he put the earth back in its orbit. Then Manu, who is the father of the earth, like he's the first human being on the earth. His name was Swayambhu Manu, and his wife was Shatarupa. What was his wife's name? Shatarupa. They stayed at a place called Brahmavarta, and they made a city called Barhishmati. Their capital city was Barhishmati. And why was it called Barhishmati? Because it was made from the kusha grass, where Lord Varadev, when he got from the Garbhodak ocean, he shook his body, and some of his hair from the body fell on this place, and that's why this place had a lot of kusha grass type of grass called kusha grass, and this place was called Barishmati. And in this place, Manu is the emperor of the universe. And still, because he's the emperor, still, in spite of being the emperor, he was always in Krishna conscious activities. He made a mat of kusha grass. Like when you do yoga, you have a yoga mat. You guys know yoga mat? Yes. So he made a mat of kusha grass, which is a special kind of grass, kusha grass. He made a mat and he sit down, he used to meditate, and he used to chant the names of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He used to probably say a different mantra because that was Satyuga, right? In Kali Yuga, our mantra is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he used to think about the Lord, hear about the Lord, do everything to please the Lord, even though he's the emperor of the whole universe. Yes, Anish, you have a question?
How did he know about Krishna before he was born? So did he?
Yes. So Krishna is not only in this material world. Krishna is in his planet called Golok Vrindavan. It's a spiritual planet. We have our own planets, the solar system and all the other universes, which are called material universes, where everything gets destroyed with time. You're wearing a t-shirt. Will that t-shirt survive after 25 years? No, right? But the spiritual world, everything remains intact. There is no time there. It doesn't get destroyed. So Krishna is originally in his planet called, he's always there in his planet called Golok Vrindavan, where there is no time. And from there, he descends to the earth. So it's not like he's getting born here. He's already there. He says he comes down to the earth. And the scriptures are there. They mention about Krishna. So it's not like Krishna is born here. He's already always there because he's the first person. From him, everything comes. From him, Vishnu comes. So he's always there. The scriptures mention about it. The sages read about it. They know about him. Only in the Dwapara Yuga, in one day of Brahma, he comes down. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I thought Lord Krishna was the avatar of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, people think that way. It is, both are correct. But if you see, Krishna comes because Vishnu is the predominating deity of the material world. Krishna comes through the door of Vishnu, but from Krishna comes Vishnu. So, like, it's a material world, right? Everything, it gets destroyed. And Vishnu is like the gateway or the door to enter the material world from the spiritual world. So he comes through Vishnu. That's why people say that Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. But if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, says Krishna is the source of Vishnu. From first there is Krishna, from him comes Balaram, from Balaram comes 4 other Vishnu forms. From there, one of the forms then comes Sankarshan. From there comes Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the original Vishnu. So first started Krishna, then Balaram, and then comes Vishnu. But because he comes down in the earth, through Vishnu, people think that he is an incarnation of Vishnu. Okay? So Swambhu Manu, we are talking about Manu, right? His capital city was Barhishmati, right? And his place he was staying at the Brahmavarta. He had 3 daughters, Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. This is another Kahoot question, because these ladies, these women, you will see how significant they are. And he had 2 sons, so 5 children in all. The 3 daughters' names were Devahuti. We will hear the story of Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. And Prasuti also we will hear. And Akuti also we will hear. And the 2 sons' names, Priyavarta and Uttanapad. We will also hear the stories of Priyavarta and Uttanapad. Does anybody know, and we have done this, who was Uttanapad? Does anybody remember who was Uttanapad? Yes, Ishan.
Uttanapad was like the father of Dhruv Maharaj.
Yes, he was the father of Dhruv Maharaj. Right? So, Brahma's son, Swambhu Manu, Swambhu Manu's son, Uttanapad. And so Uttanapad's grandfather is Brahma, and Brahma's great-grandson is Dhruv Maharaj. Remember, Dhruv Maharaj said, I want a kingdom which is greater than my great-grandfather, which is greater than my Brahma's kingdom. And Brahma's kingdom is this material universe. He wanted a bigger than that. So Swambhu Manu had 3 daughters, 2 sons. You will remember this because this is going to come many times, because their stories are so many stories related to these children. So Prasuti married Daksha. So in a few weeks, we will hear about Daksha. I don't know. Daksha is also related to Shiva. Lord Shiva stories also we will hear. And how Shiva cut the head of Daksha. We will hear those stories. And he put the head of a goat. Those stories we will hear. And Devahuti married Kardama Muni. So this is the story we are hearing. Devahuti married who? Kardama Muni. And Kardama Muni was the son of Brahma. Who was the father of Kardama Muni? Can anybody tell me? Meera, can you tell me who was the father of Kardama Muni? Meera, you're on mute. Who is the father of who was it? The father of Kardama Muni? Who was he? Who was the father of Kardama Muni?
I remember.
You don't remember. Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was the father of Kardama Muni. So, so Brahmaji ordered Kardama Muni to increase the population of the earth. Yes, Sahasra Ashrita. A question?
How many sons does Brahma have?
Brahma has many sons. I don't have a count. But see, Brahma, through the body of Brahmaji, only the population starts. From Brahmaji comes the 9 sages. From Brahmaji, the 4 Kumaras come. From Brahmaji, Narad Muni comes. From Brahmaji, the demons come. From Brahmaji, the Daityas comes. Everything started from Brahma. And then he asked all this other, who came from his body, like Manu came from his body, Shatarupa. Swambhu Manu, Shatarupa came from his body. And he asked them, okay, go create more people on the earth and other planets. So he has many. So it says, Kardama Muni was the son of Lord Brahma. And Brahmaji said, okay, go and create more children. Go get married. So before he wanted to get married, he said, no, I will become more pure so that my children will be pure. So he worshipped Lord Vishnu near the Saraswati river, near a lake called Bindu Sarovar. And it was a beautiful place. So many tall trees were there. It was a big forest area where so many birds were there. It was just magical. The winds used to blow. It was a magical place. And he meditated there for 10,000 years. How many years did he meditate? Kardama Muni meditated there for 10,000 years. And he meditated on Lord Vishnu. He meditated there for Lord Vishnu. So look at the picture, right? He's meditating for 10,000 years. Lord Vishnu comes sitting on his chariot, not his chariot, his carrier, bird carrier. Who is the carrier for Lord Vishnu? Yes, Anish?
Garuda.
Garuda. So he standing on Garuda, he has beautiful long hair, curly long hair. He has white lotuses as the garland. He's effulgent as the sun. He has a big mukut on him. He has a Srivatsa, the mark of Lakshmi Devi, on his chest. He has the Kaustubh gem as one of his gem on his chest. And he has a conch, the Sudarshan Chakra on one arm, on one hand, conch on one hand, the lotus on one hand, and the mace on the other hand, like 4 arms, right? 4 arms. He's decorated so beautifully, and he's effulgent. He's so bright like the sun. When Kardama Muni sees him, he falls flat and he worships him. That my life has become successful upon seeing you. He's full of ecstasy. He's full of delight that my Lord has come after I worshipped him for 10,000 years. And he says that my father wanted me to marry and produce children. So I ask you that please, you tell me, I want to marry somebody like me who is also pious, who is also religious. So you tell me how this can happen. And what does Vishnu say? Vishnu says, I'm in your heart. I already know that you want this, that you want to marry and you want to produce good children. And because you are a pure devotee, I already know and I've arranged for it. He says that day after tomorrow, Swayambhu Manu will come along with his queen Shatarupa and their daughter called Devahuti. Their daughter is beautiful. She's of marriageable age and is qualified, and it will be a perfect fit for you. Then they will ask you to marry her. You should marry her. And then you will have 9 beautiful girls. And you get them married to the 9 great sages. You get your daughters married to the 9 great sages. Then that way the population of the earth will increase. And because he was so happy with Kardama Muni's devotion, with Kardama Muni's prayers, with his meditation for 10,000 years, he also said that I will come as your son. Vishnu, Krishna himself will come as his son. After the 9 daughters, Vishnu will come, their son, and his name will be Kapila. And he says that Kapila will teach the philosophy of Sankhya. What is Sankhya? Sankhya is what is matter and what is soul. What is difference between the matter and the spiritual energy? So who are we? Are we matter or are we the spirit soul? Who can tell me? Are we the matter or the spirit soul? You have a definition in science. What is matter? In science, you have something called what is matter. So can somebody tell me the definition of matter? You guys study science, right? What is the definition of matter? Yes, Sahasra Ashrita?
Is it solid, liquid, and gas?
Yes, that is matter. These are the 3 forms of matter, yes. So are we matter or are we the spirit soul?
Spirit soul.
Spirit soul. But we say no. So is our body matter? Is our body matter?
Yes.
Yes. But are we the body? No, right? It is we are the soul. Our soul is inside the body. That is us. We say, it's my hand, it's my legs, it's my heart, it's my hair. So who is that my? The my is the soul inside sitting in our body, in the heart region. So he explained the difference between matter and the spirit soul. He explained bhakti. So Kapila will come and explain this to your wife, Devahuti. And after I will be born, you will go back to the forest and do meditation, and you will come back to me in Vaikuntha. So this is what Vishnu gave him the benedictions. And the Lord, Vishnu, was so pleased with Kardama Muni that he had tears in his eyes. He had so much mercy for Kardama Muni that tears from his eyes fell in that lake, and that lake came to be known as Bindu Sarovar. What was it called? Bindu Sarovar, another Kahoot question. Therefore, that holy lake became to be known as Bindu Sarovar. And from that place, Vishnu went back to Vaikuntha. So so what benediction did he give? Okay, yeah, Anish, you have a question?
How are there humans in the spiritual world or no? Like humans like us?
Yes.
They are?
Yes. But they don't have a body. They have spiritual bodies. Because the bodies, they grow old and they die. In the spiritual world, nobody takes birth, nobody dies, nobody has any disease, nobody becomes old. Here in this material world, everybody takes birth, everybody grows old, everybody has diseases, everybody dies. In the spiritual world, when we do chanting, reading, and hearing, Then we go back to the spiritual world where we have spiritual body, no external outer body. Right? Narad Muni. Narad Muni was a small boy in his previous life. We did that story. And because he did so much of this chanting, hearing, and association of devotees, at the end of his life, material life, he attained a spiritual body. And he can travel everywhere with his Veena. He is a spiritual body. So we can also have that we will never get sick. Mira, do you get sick?
Yeah, because I'm kind of sick now.
You're kind of sick now. So do you want never to get sick?
Yeah.
Right? Then you chant, then you read Krishna book, then you hear about Krishna, so that at the end of this life, you go back and no more birth, no more death, no more diseases, no more old age. Right? You're 6 years old, which means old, right? Is there 6 years old? There you will never get old. So now Kardama Muni is waiting, right? Kardama Muni was given the benediction. What benediction was he given? Who can tell me? What will happen? What did Vishnu give to Kardama Muni? What did he tell him? What did Vishnu tell Kardama Muni? Yes, Sahasrashrita?
He'll get married and give birth to 9 daughters, and Krishna will be born as his son.
Yes, very nice. See, they are paying attention. So, Sahasrashrita, I expect that you will do very well in the Kahoot. So remember these things.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And Meera and Ishan and Anish and Adhav also try to remember these things. These will come. And I can't see the faces of Nimai, Hari, and Shriya. And Adhav also, you have to remember these things. Adhav, you want Kahoot, but you have to remember and answer these questions. Okay, Adhav? So Vishnu had said day after tomorrow. So on the second day, who came? Manu came. Swayambhu Manu came with his wife, Shatarupa, and their daughter. And Swayambhu Manu said he saw Kardama Muni. He was shining. He was shining because he had done tapasya for 10,000 years. When you do so much of austerities, when you do so much of Krishna consciousness activities, your face glows. You can understand that the person is not normal. It's very highly elevated person. He was healthy. He was tall. He has lotus-like eyes. He had matted hair, right? But his clothes were tattered. And Kardama Muni received the emperor Manu very nicely. He said, he prayed. Kardama Muni said, "You're a great emperor. You built a great empire, and you protect us. You protect all the Brahmanas so that nobody disturbs us. You help us in doing service to Lord Vishnu. Please tell me, how can I help you? Why you have come here?" And then Manu says, "No, it's you who protect us. You guide us in how to run the kingdom. You guys are so close to Lord Vishnu. You are the heart of the Lord, and we are the arms. We are protecting you, and you're protecting us by telling us how to rule. You are giving us the spiritual knowledge. So by the grace of the Lord, we are protecting each other. And I have a daughter whose name is Devahuti. She is of a marriageable age, and I'm looking for a groom for my daughter. And I thought, you're the best person. You're the most qualified person who can marry my daughter. And I also know that you also want to marry, I heard. So my daughter heard so many things about you from Narad Muni. Narad Muni spoke so many glories about you. about Kardama Muni, that her mind, my daughter Devahuti's mind is fixed on Kardama Muni, on you. So she wants to marry you. And we also heard that you also want to marry. Kardama Muni then replied, yes, I want to marry because I was asked by my father to produce children so that the population of earth will grow. And I see that she's so beautiful. She's so pious. She's so religious. And I will marry her, but I have one condition. I have one condition. That after I have children, I will leave her. I will go to the forest and just worship Lord Vishnu. Because I want to worship Lord Vishnu alone, by myself. They said, okay, fine. You can, we are very happy that you've agreed to marry our daughter, Devahuti. They had a Vedic ceremony there with the sacrifice, fire sacrifice and everybody, and they started having the wedding. So many presents were being sent with their daughter, Devahuti, and the big marriage ceremony happened. And at the end of the ceremony, the father, Manu, Swambhu Manu, embraced Devahuti because he was like feeling that pain that I will no longer be able to live with my daughter, right? In India also it happens, right? When the marriage ceremony happens, the wife has to go back to her husband's house and then the father cries a lot. Yes, does it happen or no? Have you seen, Meera, that when a girl marries a boy, the girl has to go to the husband's house and then the father and the mother are crying so much because the daughter will not live in their father's house anymore. She can come for vacation, but where will she live? In her husband's house? Right? So the father cries, the daughter cries, the mother cries, and the relatives cry. So that's why Manu was also feeling that separation. But then they bid farewell to their daughter, and Manu and the Shatarupa returned to their capital. Ishan, are you in the class? Or doing something else? So, Devahuti was a very good wife. She always used to serve her husband. Like whatever husband needed for his meditation, for his fire sacrifice, for his food, every day she used to work so very hard for her husband. For years, she's served her husband, but she is not taking care of her body. She's becoming very thin, very thin. She's not wearing good clothes. She's just serving her husband to the best of her abilities. She's serving to the best of her abilities. Then one day, her husband says, I'm very pleased with your devotion to me. You've served me so very well. Please ask me, what can I give you? Please tell me, what can I give you? I have earned so much through my meditation. I have powers. So tell me, what do you want? So then Devahuti says she was shy and says, you attained so many blessings through your devotional service. I first desire to have children. Then Kardama Muni, through his mind, through his mystic power, created a big palace, an aerial palace, a palace which can fly. 7-story palace. How many stories? 7 stories. At that time, he could create 7 stories. Right? In India, also they have buildings which are 10 floors, 20 floors long. But when I was a child, it's very unusual to see big buildings. At the most 10 stories or 15 stories. Now in New York, you have 9,900 stories too. In Dubai, they have, I don't know, more, right? So he created a big aerial mansion, which was 7 stories long. And if you want that aerial mansion to fly to Himalayas, it'll go, fly. They had big pillars, which were decked with so many jewels. There were so many birds, swans on that mansion, both live and also artificial ones. And artificial birds and swans were exactly like the real ones. So when the real ones used to say, "This looks just like me," they used to try to play with them and it's like artificial. Yes, Sahasra Ashrita, you have a question?
How will they give birth to children with that palace?
Sorry?
How will they give birth to children with that palace?
We will show. We will come to that. Yes. So Devahuti saw that palace, right? There were so many things. There were diamonds and jewelry and stones and everything. And Devahuti was happy to see, but still she was not very happy because she was in bad clothes. She was very thin. She did not know how to enjoy because she has no energy. So Kardama understood that. Okay, he said, okay, Devahuti, go and take bath in the Bindu Sarovar. Do you remember what is Bindu Sarovar? What is Bindu Sarovar? Okay, let's see who can answer this question. Yes, Meera? Meera?
It was the place where he was like meditating
Yeah, how was the Bindu Sarovar formed?
because he had tears.
Who had tears?
I forgot his name.
You forgot the name? Who had tears?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see Adhav.
Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu had so much mercy. He was so much pleased by Kardama Muni that he meditated for 10,000 years. He had mercy and he had tears in his eyes. And that's how the Bindu Sarovar was formed. Right? So, Kardama Muni told Devahuti, go take bath in that Bindu Sarovar. So she goes into the Bindu Sarovar and there she finds a big house. In the lake, she finds a big house in the lake. And when she enters that house, there are 10,000 girls. 10,000 girls in that lake, in that house. So those 10,000 girls tell them, we are your servants. We are your servants. We'll make you pretty again. So they feed her nice food. They dress her up. She is now beautiful. She has a garland. She has beautiful clothes. She's looking so beautiful. She's exactly like a princess previously. Like she was a princess. Now she become a princess. Now she's happy. Then she wants to go see Deva to Kardama Muni. As she thinks of Kardama Muni, boom, she is out from her that building in the lake. She is in that aerial palace. She's transported. Like sometimes you think, can I go to and play bowling game with my friends? You just think, right? Oh, it was so much fun when I was playing bowling with my friends. Ishan might think. And boom, he's at the bowling place with his friends. Will it happen just like that? But this is happening. If you have those powers, these things happen. There are people who I've seen they can do like this. You have to have that kind of sadhana. So Devahuti thought, now I can go meet my husband. Boom. She was there in the aerial palace with her husband, and all the 10,000 maid servants are there in that aerial mansion. Who likes to travel in an airplane and go to different cities? Who likes to do that? Everybody, I guess Ishan doesn't like. So they also did like that. For some years, they flew in the aerial mansion. Kardama Muni and Devahuti flew in the aerial mansion to many, many places, just not Earth, to different places in the material universe, to the Himalayas and so many mountains. Like mountains are nice places, yes, where there's cool breeze, like so many nice plants and things. They went to Mount Meru. They went to gardens like Vishrambhaka, Surasana, Nandana. For Nandana garden is the garden of Indra, where so beautiful plants and trees and even you can ask the trees to give something and they will give whatever that you want. And there's so many beautiful birds, animals. So they went around so many places. So Karda Muni showed Devahuti so many places. Then they came back to their place, cottage. In due course of time, Devahuti gave birth to 9 daughters. They were named Kala, Anusuya. Remember Anusuya, we have heard about in Ramayan. We heard Anusuya's story in Ramayan. She was a very chaste lady. She was married to Atri. So she is the daughter of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So first one, Kala, Anusuya, Shraddha, Havirbu, Gati, Kriya, Khyati. Khyati was the wife of Bhrigu Muni. Remember Bhrigu Muni who kicked Vishnu on his heart, on his chest? There was a story. Remember the story when the sages were discussing who is greater, Brahmaji, Shivji, or Vishnuji? Remember this story? Does anybody know this story? Does anybody remember? Okay, Meera remembers this story. Who can tell me this story? Meera, you want to tell the story of Bhrigu Muni? Unmute yourself.
But which story?
Bhrigu Muni kicked Vishnu in his chest.
I don't want to.
You don't want to, but everybody knows the story? No? You want to hear you know the story, Shastra Ashrita? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So one time, quickly I will tell because Anish doesn't know. One time the sages had a debate. Who is greater? Is it Shivji? Is it Brahmaji or Vishnuji? Everybody was saying different things. Then they thought anybody who has more tolerance, who can tolerate, will be the greatest. Then they chose Bhrigu Muni to go and test. So Bhrigu Muni goes first to Brahmaji. And Bhrigu Muni is the son of Brahmaji. When a son goes, it's generally a culture that you will bow down and say, Pranam dad, Pranam father. He didn't do that. Brahmaji was angry. He was furious. My son has come to my house, my palace, and he doesn't bow down. He's thinking like that. He's about to curse him, but he says, oh, he's my son. I'm not going to curse him. But he tells him, why are you not showing respect? So Bhrigu Muni knows, okay, my father is not the greatest. He's not tolerant. Then he goes to Shivji. Shivji is sitting there with Mother Parvati in Kailash. And Shivji is very happy to see Bhrigu Muni because in a way, Shivji is also the son of Lord Brahma because Lord Brahma's from his eyes, Shivji comes. And Bhrigu is the son of Brahma. He says, oh, brother, it's been a long time you came. And he went to embrace him. Like sometimes you meet your old friend and you want to hug them, right? So he went to hug his brother. And Bhriguji said, no, don't come near me. You're stinky. You have ashes on your body. You are not clean. I don't want to touch somebody who's not clean. Shivji is angry. What did you tell me? I'm not clean? He takes his Trishul, the trident. I'm gonna kill you. Parvati Mother Parvati comes and holds him, holds her husband, say, don't do this, he's your brother, don't do that. So Shivji doesn't do that. So Bhrigu Muni says, yes. Shivji is also not tolerant. Then he goes to Vaikuntha. Lord Vishnu is sleeping on Anantashesh, sleeping on the snake, the 1,000-hooded snake. Mother Lakshmi is doing the massaging the feet. He comes, and what does he do? He kicks Lord Vishnu on his chest. Boom. If I come and kick you, Anish, what will be your reaction?
I will be angry.
You will be angry. You will be about to hit me, no? Why did you hit me without any reason? What does Vishnu do? Vishnu
He gets
up.
angry?
No. He gets up. Says, I'm sorry. Bhrigu, my chest is so hard. It's hard like a rock. Did you get hurt? Did your feet get hurt? Let me massage them. Will you do that? If somebody kicks you and says, oh, did you get hurt? That is Vishnu. He's tolerant. He says, I always worship the feet of the Brahmanas. You're a Brahman, and you might have gotten hurt because my chest is so hard like a rock. It's very soft. But Vishnu is worried that he might have got that Bhrigu Muni might have got hurt. Then Bhrigu Muni understood it is Vishnu who is the greatest, who is so much tolerant. Then he tells everybody that Vishnu is the greatest. So that same Bhrigu Muni marries the daughter called Khyati. Is right? So they had 9 daughters: Kala, Anasya, Anusiya, Shraddha, Havirbu, Gati, Kriya, Khyati, Arundhati. Arundhati married Vashishta Muni. Remember in Ramayana, Vashishta Muni comes, the spiritual master, and Shanti. So we will stop here, because then we will see how Kapil Dev is born. And so we discussed, remember, just that Brahmanas protect the Kshatriyas, Kshatriyas protect the Brahmanas. So is it good to have each other's back? Do you like, and they said pleasing words to each other, right? If I say, Ishan, you're a good son, you do good things, you take care of your studies, you study nicely, will you like that, Ishan? Ishan?
Yeah.
If I describe your good qualities, will you like that?
Yeah.
Same way, should we see the good qualities in others or see the bad qualities in others? What should we say? Oh, Meera is talkative, Meera is naughty. Should we say that, or try to put the positive thoughts in a place and nicely say, Meera, you're very nice. Just do a little bit this of more and you'll become nicer. Should we look at the positive side of things and try to praise each other?
Yes.
That's what Kardama Muni did, and Swayambhu Manu did. They praised each other. Kardama Muni said, you're a great emperor, and Swayambhu said, you're a great sage. There's then good relationship between those people. So that's the lesson. Don't try to look at the negative things in people. Try to see the positive side. That Meera is nicely sitting today with her 2 chotis, instead of her hair being out with like not being in chotis. She has two ponytails. She looks nice. That's what we say, that you look nice in that. Adhav is listening so attentively. Shastra and Ashrita always listen attentively, and they pay attention in the class. They know that they like to learn the whole story. And Ishan makes the PowerPoint for me, right? Hari does so much. He chants 16 rounds a day. Nima is so very attentive. Shriya is so very attentive. Anish is so very attentive. So we should look at the positive side of things. Yes. You'll take this lesson and also praise your parents and your friends. Then you will have better relationship. Always try to see the good things in your friends, in your mother and father. Don't look at the negative things. Yes. So that's the lesson we learned. And then we will continue the story. Next week, I might not have the class because I have a program at the house, but then the following week we'll finish the story and also have a Kahoot. So we'll have a Kahoot. So make sure you remember this story, okay? It's in Bhagavatam Tales also. So we will, any questions anybody has? No? Yes, Meena, you have a question?
Bhagavatam Tales what? Number
Yes.
one, number two.
Number one, Bhagavatam Tales Part 1. So you read this story. This is a book. This is the book. Bhagavatam Tales Part 1.
Okay.
Right? There are 4 parts already available. You guys all should buy this book. Right? It's called Bhagavatam Tales Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. Right? You guys should buy this book and you should read this book. These are wonderful, wonderful book with so many pictures. I'm trying to do all the stories from this book. Of course, the Bhagavatam, which is the other, which is 18 books. From these 18 books, these small books for children have come up. So I'm combining both the books. Okay? So we will say our prayers. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, शीला प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, kids, for joining, and we will see you probably in 2 weeks. I don't know. Probably the next week will not happen because of some other appointment, but we will do if it is going to be there, I will put it in the message in the group. Okay. Thank you, kids. And Anish, try to come to the program today.